The case of the missing parrot, and a detective with a Sherlock Holmes complex. In the quiet, or so people believed, town of Villaverde, lived a peculiar detective named Anacleto Pérez. Anaclet. He was a middle-aged man, with a full mustache, and a raincoat that seemed to have a life of its own. He called himself the Sherlock Holmes of Villaverde, although his most famous cases had been encontrar a lost cat and discover who had eaten the neighbor's muffins. One day, Anacleto received a case that promised to be more exciting than usual. The talking parrot had disappeared. Mayor's anchor. The parrot, called Platón, was Villaverde's most beloved pet. It was famous for its imitations of voices, its bad jokes, and its fondness for singing opera at midnight. The disappearance had caused great commotion in the city. Anacleto, with his magnifying glass in hand and his trench coat waving in the wind, in reality, it was a gentle breeze, went to the mayor's mansion. "Detective Pérez, what a relief you came," exclaimed the mayor, a corpulent woman in a sequined dress. "Plato has disappeared, and I can't live without his jokes. No se pi. Occupy yourself, mayor," said Anacleto in a grave voice. "I will find Plato. I am the Sherlock Holmes of Villaverde. Do you remember?" The mayor looked at him skeptically. "Yes, of course. The one who found the cat of Mrs. Martinez and discovered who ate the neighbor's muffins." Anacleto cleared his throat. "My cases are varied, mayor, but I solve them all with my wit and cunning." The mayoress sighed. "I hope you are right, detective. Plato is very important to me, and to the city." Anacleto nodded. "I understand, mayor. Plato is a national treasure. And Anacleto Pérez, I will not rest until I find him." Anacleto began his investigation. He examined the mayor's mansion looking for clues. He found a parrot feather, a sunflower seed, and a joke book. "Los. Interesting," Anacleto murmured. "It seems that Plato has been here." Anacleto interviewed the mayor's employees. The gardener, a corpulent man with a straw hat, said that I had seen Plato flying through the garden the previous night. The cook, a thin woman with a flower-stained apron, said that she had heard Plato singing opera at midnight. Suspicious, Anacleto thought. Everyone has reasons to want Plato away. Anacleto also interviewed the mayor's neighbors. The next-door neighbor, a bald man with glasses, said that he sang opera every night. The neighbor across the street, an old woman with a cane, said that Plato stole the flowers from her garden. More suspicious, thought Anacleto. It seems that Platón was not very well liked. Anacleto returned to his office, a small room full of dust and cobwebs. He sat in his chair, put his feet on the desk, and reflected on the case. Who would want to steal Plato, he wondered. And why? Suddenly, Anacleto had an idea. He remembered the book of bad jokes he had found in the mayor's mansion. "Of course!" exclaimed Amo. "The parrot thief is a lover of bad jokes." Anacleto looked in his address book for the address of all the comedians in Villaverde. He found a list of names and addresses. "This is the way," said Anacleto. "The parrot thief is among these comedians." Anacleto visited all the comedians of Villaverde. He asked them if they had seen Plato. All denied having seen him. Lies, Anacleto thought. One of you is the parrot thief. Anacleto returned to his office, frustrated and tired. He sat in his chair and sighed. "This case is more difficult than I thought," he said. Suddenly, the telephone rang. Anacleto answered. "Hello?" he said. "Detective Pérez, it's the mayor," said the mayor's voice. "I have news about Plato." "What news?" he asked. "Oh, Anacleto, we have found Plato," said the mayor. "He's in my neighbor's garden." Anacleto was speechless. "In your neighbor's garden?" "Yes," said the mayor. "It seems that my cat escaped and went to live with my neighbor. He really likes her flowers." Anacleto sighed. "I understand. Case closed. Anacleto hung up the phone and stood up from his chair. He put on his raincoat, and he left his office. Another case solved, said Anacleto with a smile. I am the best detective in Villaverde. Anacleto went to the mayor's mansion and recovered Plato. The mayor was happy. I'm glad to have your parrot back. Thank you, Detective Pérez, said the mayor. You are a genius. Anacleto smiled. You're welcome, Mayor. It's my job. Anacleto returned to his office, satisfied. Having solved another case, he sat in his chair, put his feet on the desk, and reflected on the case. Plato escaped, Anacleto thought, and went to live with the mayor's neighbor. Number. I like its flowers. Anacleto laughed. What a peculiar parrot. Anacleto got up from his chair and went to the window. He looked at the city of Villaverde. I am the Sherlock Holmes of Villaverde, said Anacleto too, and I am proud of it. Moral. Not all mysteries are what they seem. Sometimes, the solution is simpler than we think. And remember, a little humor can make any so si mas levadero. Fin.